Yo, what's going on, boys? It's the Lone Courier here. So I'm here to talk to you guys today about World War II Part 2, which is what everyone's running with over on Twitter right now. There's been a couple of leaks from Victor Z. Well, I'm not even going to call them leaks, I'm just going to call them rumours now, because we don't know if they're entirely true or not. It could just be wild gossip that usually goes on within the Call of Duty community. But you got Victor Z over on Twitter and Tom Henderson as well, which is the long sensation, all chatting up a storm about next year's Call of Duty game, well, this year's Call of Duty game, which is apparently going to be a sequel to World War II by Sledgehammer Games. Now, Sledgehammer Games, I don't hold much stock in them anymore. I really used to like Sledgehammer back in the days of Advanced Warfare. Now, before y'all start shitting your pants and going insane about that, right? There is problems with Advanced Warfare, and I'm not even going to lie. The supply drops, like, that is the game where we first encountered supply drops in the entire franchise, and I have to just say that it was an absolute tumour while it lasted, and it's probably gave way to even worse microtransactions now. But anyways, the Sledgehammer game's done a decent enough job with Advanced Warfare. I really did enjoy that game. There were problems with it, not even going to lie, and I go back and I do notice those problems a lot more than ever. But yeah, like honestly, there was not much that I didn't like about the game. I mean, I can go back nowadays and I'll find a bunch of stuff I didn't like about it. But it's a decent game for its time. It was really fun and it was something completely different. Like, you've all got to remember what the overall attitude of the entire COD community at that point, right? Because we just got Black Ops 2, which a lot of people didn't actually like back in the day. I know Black Ops 2 has this near legendary status now, right? But back then, Black Ops 2 got a shitload of hate. And this is what annoys me about YouTubers like 402Thunder. Like, I mean, I've got a lot of respect for that guy, right? But it annoys me when I watch commentaries from guys like him, and they completely ignore what their past opinions were on Call of Duty games. So, if you wind YouTube back to the days of 2012 when Black Ops 2 was the current Call of Duty game, Thunder actually stopped playing Black Ops 2, and a lot of other guys did as well, because of the sniping problems and all the other issues in the game as well. These guys did not like Black Ops 2 when it was current. They talked so much shit about that game. And Thunder is one of these guys that will come out on Twitter and post about the yearly COD cycle, where it's like, talk about how good it is in November. Come January, you're like, I hate this fucking game. Come February, you're ready for the next game, and you're back onto the previous Call of Duty game, talking about how good it was. And honestly, dude, that's what guys like him done. They talk shit about Black Ops 2 when it was current, and then you went into Call of Duty Ghosts, and it takes for a bad game the following year to make you realise how much better the previous year's game was. And that's what they did with Call of Duty Ghosts. They went back, played Black Ops 2, and they're like, yo, this game was so good. Like, I can't believe I talked so much shit about this game. And it's like, mate, you do this shit every single year. Like, y'all are a fucking bunch of clowns, man. Like, you say a game is bad one year, right? And then the next game rolls round and you say how fucking bad that game is, and then you say how good the previous year's game was, even though, like, 6 months ago, you were calling that game every name under the sun. You were saying how bad it was. And that's what it's going to be like this year. Again, 402Thunder isn't a very big fan of Cold War. We all know this by now. I've watched a few of his videos about it, and he doesn't seem to enjoy it. But I can guarantee you, World War II Part 2 is going to come out, and this man is going to go back and play Black Ops Cold War or Black Ops 4 again for like the third year in a row. And that's the point where I'll stop watching him. Because honestly, dude, like, I've basically stopped watching 99% of Call of Duty channels on YouTube, and it's because of how hypocritical all these guys are. I mean, I know technically I could fall into that sub-bracket of being a Call of Duty YouTuber, but I'm not one of these guys that will talk endless amounts of shit about how bad a game is and then go back the next game year and say how good it is. I mean, I'll admit a little bit, right, that I wasn't the biggest fan of Modern Warfare last year. There was a lot of issues with that game, but I start to respect it a little bit more now, while also enjoying Cold War. Cold War is a game that I can enjoy. It's not a great game, it's not an amazing Call of Duty game, but it's definitely better than World War II was, right? Because I've just went back and played World War II for 40 minutes, and it was the worst 40 minutes I have spent on a video game recently. The snipers are still absolutely rife on that game. The balancing of the weapons in that game is absolutely absurd, and the gunfights feel so fucking inconsistent, it's insane. Like, you'll look back at these old Call of Duty games with rose-tinted glasses and say how fucking good they were. It's like all these guys when they talk about how amazing Modern Warfare 2 was and how it's the best game in the franchise, right? Most of these guys that say this, the game is actually older than them. Like, Modern Warfare 2 is older than half of these kids that are all saying this. And it's like, mate, You weren't even born when this game was current. I played Modern Warfare 2 when it was in its prime, and I have to tell you, man, it is perhaps one of the worst Call of Duty games that I have ever played. And yeah, there are some good things about Modern Warfare 2, there are some nice weapons, there's some nice maps, but for the most part, the weapon balance was for shit in Modern Warfare 2. There was stupid things that never ever got nerfed, like danger close one-man army noob tubes. Like, there's the video of that guy getting a nuke on Wasteland just by noob tubing cross map the entire game. Like, he doesn't get into a one-on-one gunfight with anybody where it actually uses bullets. He uses noob tubes the entire game to get a nuke. It's insane, and that was the kind of shit you came across in that game all the time. Or it was people boosting for nukes, with one guy sitting up on top of high-rise with a tac insert, and another guy either sniping him or knifing him all game long. That was the kind of shit that you came across in Modern Warfare 2 all the time. And honestly, dude, that game was a tumour. Like, yeah, every other Call of Duty game has had its problems. Like, Advanced Warfare was the game that introduced supply drops, but I still liked that game. I can admit that game was a problematic one with the supply drops and the variants and stuff like that, but I still enjoyed it because it was something actually different. And that's the problem with a lot of Call of Duty YouTubers these days, is they say they want something different and then they actually get it and they can't do anything except complain about how different it is. And it's like, but my guy, you just asked for this. So we've came to the problem with Call of Duty World War II Part 2. These guys are going to talk about World War II as if it was a good game. They're going to go back, well, they're not even going to go back and play it, they're still going to play the current game, so they're not even going to experience World War II again, which would jog their memory as to how bad that fucking game was. They're going to be like, yeah, World War II was great, man, I love this about the game, I love that about the game. But, like, I literally just watched the video. I've got a video up on my other tab about World War II from Thunder, where he's talking about the game. And it's literally from January 2018. And he's talking about how he's done with the game. He's talking about how bad the maps are, how bad the guns are, and the snipers and stuff like that. And he's talking about Blame Truth, saying how bad the game is as well. But they still bought it, and then they still bought the fucking follow-up game to that as well. I don't understand it with these guys, man. Like, these Call of Duty YouTubers come out and they talk about how bad the game is, yet they still proceed to buy the next Call of Duty game. Or they'll complain about it and be like, how the fuck does Activision keep having the best selling game all year, every year? How did they do this? And it's like, I'll tell you how they do it, right? Because fucking idiots like you buy the game every year. No matter how little hype you have for the game, you will buy it again. It's like, man, what the fuck are y'all smoking? Y'all must be smoking some serious grade A crack. Like, that sounds like some good shit. Like, seriously, these guys, they'll talk about how bad a game is. Like, Black Ops Cold War Alpha, guys play it for like an hour or two and they're like, yo, this game is terrible. Proceeds to still keep his pre-order in place, proceeds to download the game day one, plays it, says how bad it is, uploads a commentary talking about how bad it is. And it's like, mate, you're literally living in a fucking echo chamber talking about how bad this game is to nobody that actually cares. And I mean, the only people that actually care about these negative opinions about the game are all these fucking idiots that have got nothing to say about it except blah, skill-based matchmaking, blah, skill-based matchmaking, Like, yes, skill-based matchmaking is so thick in Black Ops Cold War, just like it was in Modern Warfare. But y'all have seen the videos where the developers talk about these games and how they're trying to get more new players into the games. And dude, they can't do that if they're going to get stamped by like the Call of Duty veterans all game long. You know, these sweaty virgin tryhards that play with the CDL skins, that the only gun they use in the game is the 74U, and they drop shot you literally when you're dead. And these guys that the game has been going on for 10 seconds on Nuketown and they have a fucking spy plane called in already on Cold War. And you're like, mate, how the fuck? Yeah, that's the kind of guys they're trying to protect the new players from, because I've been playing COD since Modern Warfare 2 and I'll get fucking scalped by these guys half of the time. That's why there's skill-based matchmaking. Like, yes, I agree, it should be regular matchmaking, connection-based, but it's not going to happen. We all know this. Skill-based matchmaking is how Activision are making their money, because you've got the bad players thinking that they're doing good, playing against other bad players, and then you've got the good players getting frustrated because they're playing against good, if not better players. And Activision's thinking must be, yeah, well, they are going to get good at the game, they're going to be able to deal with these guys if they play these lobbies enough. And obviously that shit is annoying, I agree. skill-based matchmaking is a problem within Call of Duty games that needs to be addressed. It needs to be toned down, and I mean, yeah, like, being on the receiving end of an absolute dumping all game long is not fun. Like, I've had it so many times in Cold War where I am literally getting some guy shitting in my mouth the entire game, and it's not fun. And like, how do you guys think these noobs feel when they're getting destroyed by you all game long? You've just called in your 4th set of streaks on them all game long. They're not enjoying it, just like you don't enjoy it when you get demolished by the high skill levels all game long. You know, like then when you get into a lobby with level 1000s and you think, what the fuck, man? And you get destroyed all game long. That's how these noobs feel. So yeah, like, there is a purpose behind skill-based matchmaking. Of course it's annoying. Of course it kinda destroys the, I'm just on here for a couple casual games after work every night. And for those guys, like, I really feel with those guys, because when I work, because like I'm on furlough right now, but when I was working and I jumped on for a couple casual games every night, I would get so pissed off by the skill-based matchmaking. So I agree with you, I see where your point of view is, but it's just, it's one of those things where like you can't have it both ways. You can't protect the noobs and also preserve good players being able to shit on bad players every now and then, because for every good game you have, right, I watched a video from One Boom recently where he made a really good point. There's games where you're doing amazing, you know, you're chatting away, having a good time with the people in your party and you're destroying kids. For every game like that, there is always one person on the receiving end that is getting absolutely shit on the whole game long. And see, when you get shit on all game long, that's what those guys felt like when you were doing the destroying. So you need to realise it goes both ways. It comes around. If you have a good game, no doubt you're going to get one where people are going to shit on you. It feels more natural that way, right? And obviously people are going to disagree with that, and fair enough. But yeah, there's no two ways you can really have it. But when it comes down to Call of Duty World War II Part 2, I'm not interested in it. It's going to be terrible. I know already. I don't want another World War II Call of Duty, man. Like, the problem is, Sledgehammer with World War II, they played it so fucking safe with that game, and it ruined the game for me. Like, I wanted a World War II game that was more like World at War, where it's very hardcore, it's very gritty, it's very visceral, and it's just unforgivingly violent. Whereas you get World War II where, yeah, it's got gore and all this other sort of shit, but the story is terrible. They tried to go for this Band of Brothers rip-off and it done absolutely nothing for me. Like, the World at War storyline was so much more interesting. Not that it was a really big, diverse story, but it was a lot better than the story we got with World War II. I think it's a problem making another World War II Call of Duty game because it holds you back so much, right? You've got Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War. Stuff that everybody becomes accustomed to, like your stim shot. How are you going to explain that in World War II? Because I feel like you're going to need to have a stim shot kind of tactical in every Call of Duty game going forward. Because it's all I used in Modern Warfare and it's all I use in Cold War as well. Because I've just got that much in that mindset of playing like that from Black Ops 4, and I really like having some form of manual healing in the game. It really helps you out when you're playing aggressively. How are they going to do that in World War II Part 2? They're not going to be able to. And then there's all the bells and whistles you get with your guns, all the little fancy attachments and stuff like that. I mean, they're struggling already with Black Ops Cold War, trying to explain some of these attachments and trying to make them make sense. In World War II, you're not going to be able to do that, man. And it's going to be problematic, especially with like the whole gunsmith and that. Like, you're not going to be able to have half of these fancy attachments that you did. I mean, like, they really struggled in World War II making interesting weapons because, like, for the most part in World War II, you know, like weapons like the Volkssterngewehr, the STG, the BAR, they weren't all that common. I mean, like, of course they were fairly common, but they weren't as common as they were in World War II. In World War II lobbies, all people used were like BARs and STGs. If you want to use something like the M1 Garand or the SVT or the Gewehr 43, you are fucked in World War II. Whereas if you go back and play World at War, of course you've got dominant weapons like the MP40, but it is viable to use stuff like the M1 Garand and the Gewehr 43. I mean, like, there was a series I watched years and years ago back in World at War. It was Rifleman's Creed by Wings of Redemption, and that was some good shit. Like, he was able to effectively use those rifles in that game, and it was really good being able to use those myself. Like, I really enjoyed using the Gewehr 43. World War II, that was not possible at all, because you were always getting outgunned by PPSHs and BARs. That's how that game played out, and it's how I can see this next one playing out as well if they do go for a World War II setting. It's just not going to be interesting. And going off of Sledgehammer's track record, their maps were fucking atrocious in World War II. Like, yeah, they made some pretty good maps in Advanced Warfare, I mean, wasn't Dr. Disrespect a member of the map development team on Advanced Warfare? I mean, some of those guys made some really nice maps on Advanced Warfare, like Biolab. There's a couple other ones that I can't really remember off the top of my head because I've not played Advanced Warfare in a while. But I enjoyed a lot of the maps in that game, and I just feel like they're never going to be able to make good maps like that again. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I know this is a bit longer than it really should have been. I mean, like, it's a tweet that I'm talking about, and I've managed to stretch it out to 15 minutes, but you know how I am. I go off on a tangent, and there was a lot of shit that I wanted to talk about in this video, and it just made sense to compile these two topics into one video, rather than making two individual ones that are quite short. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I'm not trying to hate on guys like Thunder with this video, because obviously I talked pretty negatively about guys like him earlier on in the video, but no hate towards the guy, but it's just the hypocriticalness that these guys come out with when they're just like, yeah, this game is so bad, but then they proceed to buy the next one. It's like, dude, if you really don't like Call of Duty that much, right? I mean, I know he's explained it in one of his recent videos in the comments where he was like, yeah, but you see, my channel, I can afford to buy a Call of Duty game every single year. But it's like, dude, if you really want to take this stand against Activision and say, how can you keep doing this when you keep buying the game? Like, you are one of those sales. So you're one of these people that's contributing to their best-selling game every single year. It's like, if you really want to stop them getting bestseller every single year, then stop buying Call of Duty. I mean, for the most part, when I watch his videos, I would not really give a shit if this guy posted, like, Borderlands or fucking Destiny, whatever else, because I know there's other games that he's actually interested in. Like, he's posted Gears of War 3 before, he posted Borderlands once or twice, I think. I know that he's posted Destiny as well. It's like, mate, I would watch those videos. Like, it's the commentary that I watch your videos for. And, like, the thing is, if you're really that bummed out on Call of Duty, stop playing it. Stop posting it. Post about something you do enjoy. But, there we go. It's the problem with YouTube is negativity does so much more. It does way more views than positive videos do. And that's the problem. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave your opinions in the comments below. What do you guys think about the topics that I've talked about in today's video? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, lads. Stay safe, everybody. Peace.